You ready?
I'm ready. I am ready. Hello, everybody out there. Oh, it's Tuesday again. Crazy.
That's what happens.
Crazy.
Hold on. In 3.
Two, 1.
You don't say. You don't say.
Oh, in 3,
3.
2. Action. We've been in action right here.
Okay, go ahead.
Just waiting for Todd right here.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm just trying to line up the shot, bruh.
You want me to start it?
Yep.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, surfers, skaters, snowboarders, adjacent sport doers. This is the Monday M.A.S.S. World's Greatest Action Sports Podcast. I am Chris Cote, and that is...
Hi, I'm Todd Richards, and we're here.
Todd Richards.
I was lining up the angle on my phone. I don't know
Good.
why, because no one freaking watches.
No people care.
No one watches it.
Well, this is the World's Greatest Action Sports Podcast. It's one of the top surf podcasts. It's definitely a top 50 skate podcast, and it's the 9th best snowboarding podcast. If you put all of those things together, all those accolades, you get the World's Greatest Action Sports Podcast. Today is June 3rd. It's a Tuesday, and maybe you can tell us why we're recording on a Tuesday, Todd.
Well, Chris, yesterday I got back from Jackalope Fest. That was in Virginia Beach.
Did you jackalope while you were there?
It's so weird. Don't ask me weird questions like that. It was super fun. It's a very unique event. In
Skateboarding,
skateboarding, skimboarding, BMX demo, let's see, motocross demo, base jumping demo, high slack line competition.
They were slacklining right outside of your bathroom.
Yeah, that
the
was
video that I saw.
That was the craziest thing. Okay, so the video that I put online the other day wasn't very far off from what I truly experienced. I got up kind of like, because, you know, going West Coast to East Coast, you end up waking up late. So I ended up waking up at like 9 o'clock, and the curtain was open a crack, and I kind of woke up and walked into the bathroom, went to the bathroom, came out.
Just number one or?
Just a single. And then I didn't have a shirt on. I'm just kind of like walking in my underwear, just scratching my butt. And I look out the window, look out the sliding glass door window of my hotel room, and there's just a person walking towards me on a high line, like directly in front of me. It was the craziest shit. If you want to check it out, you can go to the Monday M.A.S.S. Instagram, and I put up a video yesterday where I kind of recreated what happened to me at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I feel like the video doesn't do the visual justice,
No.
even though it's a great video.
No, it was absurd.
Virginia Beach is a very interesting place.
Virginia Beach I think it's awesome. And it's so steeped in skateboard history.
Yeah.
That it's just really fun. It was really fun to commentate a skate contest, because I love commentating skate. I love it. Vert especially. Vert and park, because that's like my wheelhouse. Street is a little bit more nuanced, and I feel like I'm doing it a disservice by trying to commentate it, because there is so much nuance in street skating, in the flip in, flip outs, and switch, and making sure that everything is on point, because I'm super, super anal about that stuff. But for vert and park, there's nothing better for me than to commentate that stuff, because I love it so much. What are you doing? Oh, this is a dog.
She loves your commentary in vert and park. Work.
That's Pie.
Okay, get back to work.
So
Well,
yeah,
that's
so I
cool.
I got home yesterday, and I was
burnt.
so fried. I ended up, I just don't. Do you sleep when you travel?
Yeah.
You do?
Sometimes I force myself to sleep with medication.
Right, but you find that you're like, I think as I've gotten older and just
More tired. It's like maybe you're older, more tired, therefore you can't sleep outside of your own bed.
Pretty much, and I think it doesn't matter how much water I drink, I'm constantly dehydrated, so I'm like dehydrated, and then I just don't really sleep in hotels, and then the East Coast, like I've said this to you before, and I've said it on the podcast, that I feel like the time change between here and the East Coast is almost worse than like going to Japan or going to Europe. It's just that 3 hours makes a huge difference.
The East Coast West Coast transition is rough.
Yeah.
You know what? If I have good pillows in a hotel room, I can sleep good. But if the pillows are too puffy, I'm not sleeping.
But you know what helps? And we're gonna go into our sponsor block right now, Machu Picchu Energy, because as soon as I got home yesterday, I went and cracked one of these things just to be able to move. I was so fried. I didn't sleep. I got up at 3:30 a.m. because my flight was at 6 a.m. out of Norfolk, Virginia. So
No fuck.
Norfolk, Virginia. All right. So Machu Picchu Energy, if it wasn't for them, they've kept this podcast moving since basically day one.
That's true.
So thank you.
And Sunbum has kept this podcast sunburn free and moisturized. I've been like Todd. I've been traveling around quite a bit, and that dehydrated feeling where you need that moisture in your skin is achieved by various Sunbum products. There's one in a yellow tube, sunblock and moisturizer, that I've been loving. And of course, don't go anywhere without your Sunbum chapstick or your Sunbum lip balm. Chapstick is an actual brand.
Say this though.
Yeah.
Make sure that when you are putting your stick in your bag, that you don't put the 30 sunblock chapstick in instead of just the
lip balm. Yeah.
Because you will taste that for 4.5 days.
Well, you need both.
You do need both, but if you just have chapped lips, just use the balm.
The balm is the best. We love it. At Sunbum. Don't forget to follow them. One Wheel. At One Wheel. Do you see any one wheel action at Jackalope? If not, should there have?
Well, they're everywhere. I mean, any place where there's a boardwalk, there's kind of like it's a given. Oh. But I did see a video. One Wheel posted this morning, and I'm constantly like, when One Wheel first came out, it was like, oh yeah, it's like neat, like this novelty thing that you can go. It's like really fun. You can take it on trails. I saw this dude this morning somehow popping on a One Wheel into a nose slide on a flat down rail.
Oh, I've seen this.
I don't understand how you do that. Like, how do you do that?
Practice.
I don't understand.
You gotta be really good at one wheeling.
I guess.
I saw I was in Oregon, which we'll talk about later, and of course, Hood River, coastal Oregon, tons of one wheeling happening. Hood River may be one of the one wheel capitals of the world. Mammoth Mountain, as we said last episode,
they announced their closing.
They've announced their closing, so that will be the final shout out for Mammoth Mountain for the season. But we thank you, we love you, and I can't wait till next season already. What else we got? Spy Optic at Spy Optic. Of course, it's sunglass season. Do you have your summer sunglasses yet? If you don't, go to at Spy Optic on the gram, and right there is where they'll show you not only the new styles but also specials and deals. And if you want to go into a hardcore brick and mortar surf shop, go to Hansen Surfboards. That's right. You can get your Spy Optic. You can get your Sunbum at Hansen Surfboard. And you can also get that stuff online, Todd.
Yes, you can. But we would prefer if you went into a brick and mortar.
Go in there. And on your way home, go to the store, pick up a couple of whatever, chicken legs, chicken breasts, whatever you want. Throw those in the air fryer, and when you've got about 2 minutes left in your cooking time, slather that chicken with bachans. That's right, bachans Japanese barbecue sauce. I'm still saying the bachans roasted garlic flavor is the greatest flavor yet.
All right.
What else we got? Panic and Coffee and Tea at Panic and Coffee and Tea. I'm talking this fast. I'm this excited because not only did I have one regular, one decaf, but I also had a cold brew this morning, Todd. I kind of went the Todd method with the cold brew in the morning.
You're jacked up.
I'm jacked up.
Nice.
Jacked on. I'm jackaloped. Bubs Naturals at Bubs Naturals. You know that collagen and MCT Brannel was in that coffee at Bubs Naturals. Give them a follow. See all the good stuff that they got going on. Mint Tours at Mint Tours.
Mint Tours is coming. We have announced our dates. If you want to come to Japan with us, go to the Mint Tours website. We are going early in January because I have to be back for this thing called the Olympics in Italy. So it's an earlier tour this year, and it will be fun. Last year we went the week later, but apparently the week before was was really freaking good when we weren't there.
What's your percentage? What percentage can you guarantee, knock on wood, without jinxing it, what percentage can you guarantee that when you come on a Mint Tours with Monday M.A.S. and the crew, that you're going to get that coveted empty Japal?
Like every time.
So like 99%.
Because where we go.
Okay.
Don't forget about new greens.
Don't forget about new greens.
You want your new greens. You need your new greens. I have to have my new greens. And you know what? Pure Prescriptions also offers a whole bunch of different stuff to keep you up and running, because if you're old, your body is just like, you're done. Like, you're done.
Or if you're young and you want to stay young.
Yeah, but when
For
you're
as long as
young,
possible.
you can kind of like cheat it for a little bit. But when you get a little older, and you want to do this stuff, come on.
True. He's right. DiecutStickers.com, at DiecutStickers, DOTCOM on the gram. Of course, there's stickers right there. There's stickers all over the place.
Jerry is the dankest.
Actually, Mike Kelly put a Monday M.A.S. sticker, the Seinfeld Action Sports Podcast About Nothing sticker, on the sign as you exit the Goonies house in Astoria, Oregon.
All right, so let's just get through.
Vessel shipping at Vessel App.
Vessel
the
App.
best.
Thanks, Mikey. Well, okay, so you were officiating.
Oh, you want to go there?
Well,
I was saving it for nerd news because it's pretty nerdy.
Well, let's just get it out.
Okay, I went to Oregon. I was the officiant at good homies Dane Barry and his brand new wife Sophie. I was their officiant, and Todd, I've been to Oregon a bunch of times. I've always liked it, but now I love it. The Subaru State provides, and I did drive around in a Subaru.
You did?
And I liked it. A Subaru Ascent. This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. Hood River, Oregon.
Is it true they say about Subarus?
What?
It's what.
I just saw a lot of Subarus.
What love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru?
I think so, because I loved driving it. I loved, everybody in Subaru there's waving, so that's a lot of waving. There's a lot of Subarus. But anyway, Hood River, Oregon was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. The wedding was at a place called the Griffin House, and it was like breathtaking. It didn't look real. It looked AI generated. Like, what would you, like paradise, beautiful trees. It was incredible.
We don't have the trees here.
We don't have those kind of trees here. But so a couple days in Hood River, and then from there, did a quick little road trip all the way over to Astoria. Beautiful drive. I watched kiters. I jumped in the Columbia River. We drove over to Astoria, Oregon, stayed the night and 2 days there. And while we were there, we went, of course, to the Goonies house. And also, Astoria felt like a movie set, and it is a movie set. Short Circuit, Free Willy, Kindergarten Cop, of course, Goonies. It's a fun little town. It's pretty touristy, but super fun to just walk around.
It's not a tumor.
Not a tumor.
It's not at all.
So that was epic.
So when you go up to the Goonies house, I've never been to the Goonies house.
Yeah.
Are there signs that say, "Get the fuck away from our house"?
There used to be. So apparently now it used to be owned by people that did not celebrate the Goonies. Who knows if they even saw the movie, because they did not want people over there. I've talked to so many people that saw my pictures from the Goonies house that said they tried to get that picture, got yelled at, had stuff thrown at them. But now, not just, so the whole town celebrates the Gooniness, right? There's Goonies shirts all over for sale. And there's
people that look like sloth.
There's tons of Goonies stuff happening, but now they like allow. I think the people that bought the Goonies house are into it, so there's actual signs that give you instructions on what to do. Don't drive up here. Don't be a dick.
That's cool.
Don't litter. Blah blah.
I mean,
blah.
it is kind of like a cultural landmark.
100%. You feel it when you look up and you see it. You feel it, and apparently, this weekend coming up, so we dodged a big one. We were there this last weekend, and this weekend coming up is the 40th anniversary of Goonies.
No shit.
They said there's going to be 25,000 people extra in the town.
Did you do the truffle shuffle?
I might have done the truffle shuffle, but in private.
All right, let's get on with our show.
Okay,
This is
I got show and tell. Show and tell, folks. This is brand new Encinitas Magazine, June, July issue 2025.
The classic sketchy tank skull palm tree.
That's right. This particular, if you're not seeing what we're seeing on our live stream here, this is the Art of Sketchy Tank on the cover, and this is basically a homie issue because we've got the Art of Sketchy Tank. We've got Todd's son's crew, the Chihu TV crew right there. Look, there's Cam Richards hosting a YouTube video on these pages. We've got Josh Bernard photo feature. We've got Benji Weatherly. It's a very surf and action sports episode.
Mm-hmm.
This Musubi Love. Our other friends, Jordan Mead, like Jordan and the homies, makes sense. Brandon Parker's is in here with Portal. So if you're in and around Encinitas, pick one up.
Take one into the toilet, Lee.
And lastly, before we get to surf news, Sunbender's going on tour, Todd.
All right.
And this is Surfy.
Oh, okay.
We're playing the North Park Music Fest with Skits, Phonics, and Strawberry Fuzz and more this Saturday. Next Friday, during the Lexus Lowers Pro.
Wait, that's next week?
Yeah. That starts on Monday, potentially, if the waves are good enough.
So what does that mean for our podcast?
We'll do it. So we'll do something. Oh, we're going to do a collab podcast with Dave Proden of The Lineup.
No kidding.
So on a lay day, we just need to be flexible because on a lay day, Dave Proden from The Lineup is going to come down here. He's going to sit right here with us.
Sick.
And I think we just do like a normal Monday Mass and we just include Dave. And we kind of just have him answer a lot of these questions that we answer.
Now, will we get some of his fans?
Oh, we're going to just like try to
Cool.
be a parasitic
Take them.
Lineup fans.
All right, cool.
Next Friday, we're playing Knuckleheads in San Clemente with Rude Weirds. And next Saturday here in Encinitas, Summer Fun in the 101. We've got the Barracudas coming. We've got Brawley, Jared Matson, Sunbender. We play at 6:45 or something. It starts at 11. That's free. That's all ages. And Surf News is brought to you by Sunbum.
Oh, I thought that was the end of our show.
Nope, this is just the beginning.
Okay, great.
So if you want to continue on listening and viewing, here it goes.
Go.
The Challenger Series has started with fresh faces and up-and-comers like Josh Kerr, Kalohe Andino, Julian Wilson, and Sally Fitzgibbons. Rookies trying to just make their mark.
What if the Challenger Series becomes more popular because all of those surfers are the viewers' more favorites?
Well, I think it's rad. It's like we talked about this a little bit last week on how it's the time for, God, dare I say, middle-aged athletes, 40 and up. And as Beach Grit actually put it really well. They said the Challenger Series, where 41-year-old Josh Kerr and 36-year-old Julian Wilson bashed on their much younger opponents during the opening rounds of the Burton Automotive Newcastle Surf Fest.
It's almost like it's a Shredophiles.
Whoa! Oh, older surfers shredding over younger surfers.
Shredophilia.
Copyright, Todd Richards. So if there's a problem with shredophilia in your town,
I mean,
call Todd.
Shredophilia it exists in a lot of different places. Like it exists, like the contest that I went to this weekend. There's people that are 36 years old competing against 14-year-olds. That's shredophilia.
Well, you could call him a shreddo.
Yeah, shredophiliac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's happening right now.
Shredophilia is real.
But we like it.
Yeah. I'll support
We support it.
Shredophilia.
Well, I mean, the Challenger Series right now is kind of the talk of the town because the Lowers isn't starting until next week. So right now, this event is happening, and people are talking about it. I was hearing about it surfing out here. I love the Challenger Series, and dare I say, I might like the Challenger Series broadcasts, at least the early rounds, more than the Championship Tour in some cases because of the urgency, because some kid, some young female surfer flew from, South Africa all the way to Australia or from here to South Africa, and they surf for 25 minutes and they lose.
Yeah, there's real consequences, right?
It's a 25-minute work trip, thousands of dollars to surf against Julian Wilson, and then you lose, and then you go home, and there's no crying on the Challenger Series. It's just, well, I'm sure there is.
I think this is why. I remember when I was saying a couple of weeks ago, like if you do make the Championship Tour and you have to battle this kind of ups and downs, right? you need to have a chance to experience it, not just like one or two events. Like, give some of these surfers a year. Give them a grace period of one full season.
Yeah. Well, we got a comment here about Jordy Smith. That's true. Jordy Smith, 40 plus club. He's #1 in the world right now on the championship tour, and he is real good at lower trestles. Yeah, take it off. Not all the way. So the Challenger Series schedule has been announced. You start at Newcastle, go to Ballito, South Africa, Huntington Beach, Open Festival, or the U.S. Open Festival, Ericeira, Saquarema, Pipeline has been added. So not only do you have to surf against some of the best, young and old on the Challenger Series, but you also have to surf your way through Pipeline January 28th, which is prime time, and then it ends in Newcastle. So it starts in Newcastle, ends in Newcastle. That's pretty cool. So the Challenger Series is happening now. Check it out. Congratulations to our guy, Italo Ferreira, and his lady. They're going to have a baby. And this baby
Oh yeah, I heard
is
about
going
this.
to straight shoot out of the womb. We're all Red Bulled up. What do you think this baby's going to be like as a baby? Knowing that it was conceived during a Red Bull bender.
Well, basically, Italo has the magic seed.
Oh, gosh.
He has Red Bull enhanced seed.
It's like...
The kid is going to come out with a Red Bull helmet on.
Or maybe just a head with a Red Bull logo already. Well, either way, congrats to Italo and his lady. That's awesome news. More awesome news. Kelly Slater is doing Stab in the Dark.
This is, when I saw that this morning on Stab, their Instagram teasing it, this is probably one of the most anticipated things for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Kelly does an amazing job of breaking down the do's and don'ts, what works, what doesn't, the particulars of a surfboard, kind of better than most people.
The best.
Yeah.
I think he does it better than anyone. I guess we'll see. Because there was a teaser in the last Stab in the Dark. Kelly Slater had started Stab in the Dark, but now it's official. He's doing it all. Can't wait for that. Todd, we can't have a show lately without talking tariffs
Oh boy.
and taxes. Well, this one's actually, I think, good. So the state of Hawaii has now put into effect a tax that will specifically apply to haoles. It's called the haole tax. Any travelers staying in hotels, short-term rental homes, cruise ships will be assessed the transient accommodation tax. That's about $2.25 per night for like a $300-ish hotel.
Isn't that like Kama'aina price
Well,
already?
if you want to go to Hawaii and surf,
Hall.
you're going to get taxed. Haole tariffs. They're called haole tariffs. And I'm all for it. I'll gladly pay $2.25 per
Could you
section or day.
just do the rest of this in pigeon?
Ha! $2.25 haole tariff. Or you get pounded. It's called the haole tax. It used to be a different tax where you would just get slapped. So $2.75 is better than getting the haole tax that we had to go through.
Did you ever get
back
slapped?
in the day.
Like proper slapped?
No, very close, so many times. But luckily, I always had glasses on. There's something about like these glasses are kryptonite for me to get slapped. No, I did. Well, I got slapped by Andy Irons once, but that wasn't in Hawaii, and that was unrelated to surfing. So I have been slapped proper, but never
You got false.
due to like surfing. I did get falsed.
Okay.
It was a slight falsing. Last week I failed to mention, and this is heartbreaking for me, but I'm going to make up for it. The Encinitas board riders are your national champions. Your national champions, and they won that at lower trestles against the best of the best, taking down our nemesis rivals San Clemente. So congratulations to our very own Encinitas board riders, national champions. This is kind of surf news. Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker just dropped a collab capsule with Hurley. And it looks as if you know, what you would expect. There's a lot of Realtree camo, death metal font, ringer tees, kind of the, if you put into an AI generator and you said Travis Barker, Hurley collab, this is what would come out.
Hot topic.
Just pretty much what you'd expect. There's some good items in there. But in a Surfer Magazine interview, we were reminded that Travis Barker, widely considered one of the greatest drummers ever, Used to be a trash man and a skimboarder in Laguna Beach.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, didn't know that. So if you want to support Travis Barker, I'm sure you could use your
Yeah,
tariff tax.
because, you know, he's probably not doing that good.
No, he needs your help.
Yeah.
Why is that guy looking at my van? Is that guy looking at my van?
What are you talking
I'm looking out the window right now. This guy might be looking at my van.
There's nobody looking at your van, dude.
He's crouched down behind my van.
No, he's trimming the bushes.
Well, get away from my van. That's kind of stuff that happens around Monday Mass HQ. I got a new surfboard, JT Dark Arts. Rode it once. Great. Can't wait to ride it again. That's it. Skate News is brought to you by Spy Optic.
Let's go.
Yeah, you want to go?
All
It says right here, breakdown Jackalope.
Okay, so Jackalope Fest was cool. And the reason that I think Jackalope Fest is cool is because it doesn't have any ties to real point standings where you have to, like, you know, you're marching towards the Olympics, or it's not an invite competition.
It travels though, right?
It does travel. There's let's see, there's this stop, and then there's Mississauga in Canada, and then there's Montreal, and then they're gonna do one, what they call the Jackalope block parties. There's gonna be one in Manly, I think, and then the next one is gonna be in Ventura. So they're trying to expand. And the reason that I think Jackalope is cool and it has a great premise is that it's all about finding the next generation, because there's too many big high ticket skate events these days. If you're a competitive skateboarder, it's who's cool. It's the invite only, and you're not really gonna find those new.
It's the same 12 skaters every contest.
Every single contest, and they have this thing called the golden ticket where you submit videos over the course of 3 months to get yourself considered or get yourself into the competition so that you can battle your way up. It's like a true open event. There's also this guy called the Skate Nomad who goes around the world and finds the most underrated skateboarders that you can possibly find, and there was people coming from Peru and all these different places and given a chance.
I like the Skate Nomad. I watch his YouTube show.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then, you know, they have a whole bunch of different stuff there just celebrating skateboarding. You can't go to the X Games and skate the X Games course. You can't go to Street League and, as a spectator, skate the Street League course. Jackalope has public hours that you can go and skate the vert ramp, skate the street course. They have a mini ramp for you. It's super inclusive and attendance friendly. It's free. It's 100% free. It is pretty awesome. So it was cool. It went down. The vert happened first, and it was a show. You know, you've got Colin Graham, who's Virginia Beach's the next generation of Virginia Beach skater, absolutely ripped. We had Luke Kaler coming out of Huntington Beach, incredible surfer, incredible snowboarder, and just absolute destroyer on the vert ramp. And it was great. There was a little kid doing freaking 900s every single time, little kid from Australia.
There has to be.
So Luke Kaler won the vert competition. Jake Alardi won the street competition.
Hold on, can we talk about the trick that he did?
Yep.
Did he do a hard flip?
No, he went big spin.
Okay, big spin,
front blunt, late back 180 flip out.
Jeez.
But it happened. It was magic. It was magic, and the contest was kind of already over, and it was like they were letting these guys kind of super session it a little bit. And Jake put down, I don't think it's an NBD, it might be an NBD in a contest, but it was magic.
Okay, big spin, front blunt.
Big spin, and it's not a very long rail either. It's kind of a short double set. Big spin, front blunt, lock in, then backside 180 flip out.
Yeah, and he did it perfect.
He did it. You couldn't do it any better.
That's true.
Yeah, and so let's see. Nina Yee won for the women in the open vert finals. The street was won by, where is he? Where?
The Jake?
No, Jake Alardi won for the men. What happened to my street semifinals, street vert finals? I don't know what happened to my Valentina Cruel won
Tight.
for the women. It was great. It was awesome.
So you recommend if Jackalope comes to a town near you, you recommend going.
I do.
Bring your board.
Bring your skateboard. There's so much going on, and it really reminds me of what X Games was when it first started.
Ooh,
And
I like that.
And I'm talking about X Games back when it was in Newport, Rhode Island.
A little bit more grassroots, a little bit. Soulful. I mean, I know there's advertising.
It has the touch of the wacky.
Yeah.
Like there's kind of like there's dudes on jet skis doing backflips out in the water. There's like people, like I said, people on high slack lines, just like weird, and then base jumping, and there's just everywhere you look, there's just something happening, and it was amazing.
Sounds like good, clean fun for the whole family.
It's awesome, and as far as like watching a skateboard competition these days, to be able to watch the young up and coming kids go for it, it's kind of more exciting because they literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Got to see Aaron Storga, Dave Duncan. It was awesome.
New heads and old heads.
New heads, old heads. It was great.
I love to hear that. So that was your Jackalope breakdown by Todd Richards, who was there. And also over the weekend.
We also had a crazy thunderstorm.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. We can't have Jackalope without one thunderstorm, right? That's the history.
Yeah.
Well, get me in there. Let me do Jackalope with you next year.
Come on.
You and Amelia.
Let's go to Canada.
Amelia Brodko was your
She was my co-host.
announcer.
Amelia's awesome. Yeah.
That's cool. The 2025 Skateboarding Hall of Fame happened on May 30th, a couple days ago. That was at the Vans HQ in Costa Mesa, California. And let me just tell you some of the inductees. Because this is probably one of the best lists of Hall of Fame inductees. And maybe I'll just say a couple names. You tell me why they're in the Hall of Fame.
Go ahead.
Starting off with Dale Smith. Dale Pineapple Smith.
Dale was one of like the super OGs.
That's right.
I mean,
OG, and I see him at all the events. He's super rad. Mike Ternasky. What is Mike Ternasky in the Hall of Fame?
Mike Ternasky was basically the brainchild behind everything from back in the day with the old H Street videos to Plan B to helping a lot of these skaters kind of come up. Pat Duffy, Danny Way, Colin McKay, like you name it.
Yeah,
Ternasky was a motivating factor and also like a visionary as far as what like a motivator. There's a lot to be said about Mike Ternasky.
Yeah, I would think he would, without Mike Ternasky, skateboarding would be vastly different and probably far behind what it is right now. Who else we got? Larry Bertelman.
Oh, the Burt.
Dude, the Burt Slide. One of the greatest surfer skaters to ever do.
Maybe like one of the first.
I think so.
Crossover.
The first one that had a surf. Is he the only person that has a skate trick and a surf trick named after him? And is it official? Like, did he say, "Oh, that's a Burt Slide," or did someone else say, "That's a Bertelman"?
You mean like
How do you think that works?
You mean like Larry Layback and the Burt Slide?
Exactly.
I think.
You can say Bertelman in skate. You can say Bertelman in surf.
Well, arguably like Mike McGill.
But Mike McGill doesn't have a surf trick named after him.
People are doing the
right.
twists on surfboards.
No, you're totally right. But yeah, Larry Bertelman. I mean, come on, Darren Ho, Pat Nahoff, Ben Schroeder.
Oh my God, Big Ben.
Probably
Schroeder,
the best sketchy skater ever.
Dude, Ben is solid, and he's like, you think about people that shake the ramp when they skate.
Yeah.
Ben Schroeder is one of those dudes. He was always, a big presence. Everything he did was giant. Every smash on the coping like made the coping want to fall off.
And a very interesting guy, and probably did to me, still does some of those tricks where you just almost have to look away, like rolling things. And
the thing. What's it called? Ghost ride drop in.
He hits his tail on top of the deck, and then pushes down his front foot, hangs up on purpose, and it's one of the scariest skate tricks ever. So of course, Ben Schroeder is in there. Karma, Toshev? Sochef. Karma Sochef. He
Consolidated Skateboards.
Yeah.
Like Northern California, just ripper. He was part of that crew. Like Alan Peterson, like just kind of like when
early Volcom guys, right?
I'm not sure if he was on Volcom, but it's like that the Cardiel era of NorCal destroyers.
Nar, and you put that name Karma right next to this guy's name, Wade Spire, just early dude blasting out of
ATV.
cement.
He was like an early ATV guy riding for Powell. His vert parts were just as good as his street parts.
He would launch. He was basically one of the innovators of, I would say Mini Mega before it was even called Mini Mega, jumping off big jump ramps and landing on stuff over dump trucks and whatnot. Of course, one of the men of the hour, Sean Sheffy.
I think Sean. It's funny. I had a conversation. I was talking to a couple guys in our store this weekend just about what, like, when you first meet somebody when you're very impressionable. Like the first time I met Sean Sheffy, I think it was like in the 90s. Plan B was just starting. We had just come off of like his H Street breakout stuff, and Sheffy was bigger than life. He had the big hair.
Piercing eyes.
Was kind of a scrapper. He was a scrapper back then.
He fought the whole Wu-Tang Clan.
He fought the Wu-Tang Clan. I remember at a trade show, he basically took on Jesse Martinez in front of like the Reef booth at one point. It was crazy. It was like watching Godzilla versus King Kong happen in front of you. But now, like, I end up seeing Chef surf almost every single morning, and he is like the sweetest, nicest, like, mellow person.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I'm still like super intimidated by Chef.
Right.
Because of how I was when I first met him. So impressionable. But I mean, what an honor. I mean, Sheffy has been, you want to talk about one of the first street skaters that was all about power. You remember the late shove it over the fence.
Power and pop.
Yeah, and ollieing over his son who was in the little top car.
Iconic.
Like, yeah.
Also, so yeah, Sean Sheffy. It would be a good shirt. Sean Sheffy surfs more than you.
That's actually.
Because I think he surfs more than me.
Probably.
For sure. Sal Barbier.
Obviously.
Switch God. Bucky Lasik. I mean, how are these names not
Buck-
already in the Hall of Fame? But I love that they're in now.
I honestly think that Bucky Lasik is better at skating now than he was 10 years ago.
And I think
20 years ago.
To me, he's the type that's like, I don't need to be in the Hall of Fame yet. I still have some skateboarding to do.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jamie Reyes got in there, and I love just the last thing. It's just a legends only, and that's true.
Yeah, it's great.
Skateboarding Hall of Fame, and I DJ'd a bunch of years there. It was such a rad
It's just
gig, and I was bummed to
cool
miss it.
that skating has got their shit together where they can have a Hall of Fame and people come out and it's for skateboarding, by skateboarding. There's Surfer Pole Awards used to happen. They kind of don't really happen anymore, which is lame.
Yeah.
Snowboarding certainly has the Snowboard Hall of Fame, but it's like run by the Ski Federation, which is, since we don't have Transworld or snowboard magazines anymore, we've lost control of honoring the people that have paved the way. And
right.
I think that surfing and skating need to get their shit together and start that again because it's special.
Surfing has it. They have the Walk of Fame and the Hall of Fame in front of Jackson, HSS. I mean, it's the Huntington Beach.
It's very centric, but I do think that is such a great idea, like the hallowed grounds of Huntington, the U.S. Open to surf, to have your prints put into the cement. I think that is really cool.
Yeah, California Surf Museum does a gala every year where they name honorees, Silver Surfer. They're usually older, so it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be, let's say, like it's more of like a Buzzy Trent, or
I don't know. I just think like that. Like Thrasher has Sodi,
yeah,
and then they also have the Hall of Fame, and the what I'm saying is it's run by skating.
Yeah,
it's not like, well, we're the ski federation, and we're gonna
have this little part.
We'll let you do it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, California Surf Museum is cool, but I agree with you. It'd be cool if there was just a centralized surfing Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So the middle of nowhere is a skateboard art benefit for Montana Pool Service, and just judging by the pictures I've seen on Instagram, this is probably the coolest skate deck art show auction thing I've ever seen. So so Jeff Almet from Pearl Jam, who is just a sweetheart of a man, such a rad guy. He lives around here too.
He does?
He does. So he has already helped organize and contribute to build over 40 world-class skate parks in rural and native communities in Montana and the Dakotas, with 5 new ones being built this summer. So this is a rock star who made a ton of money from his band Pearl Jam, and with that money, he's helping build skate parks for, like hard to access places, small populations, but even a small population needs a good park. So over the past year, I would assume, they sent 100 skateboard decks to artists all over the world, Japan, Thailand, England, Sweden, etc. And they got incredible skateboard or art pieces on these decks. Some of our friends, Thomas Campbell, Andy Davis, Mike Nelson, Craig Stesick, Stacy Peralta, Don Pendleton, Lance Mountain, Jim Phillips, Oblo, and these boards right now are going up for auction, and I think they're going to raise a ton of money.
Oh, is this the show that happened last weekend?
This show, so it opened last week, and the auction is now.
Okay.
So if you've seen the Instagram post where it's just like 100 little skateboards, and you zoom in, and you're like, what? It's probably the coolest skateboard auction ever. It has to be one of them. It's incredible. So yeah, the boards are available now. Go to Montana Pool Service and get more info. But a bunch of our friends have boards, and it's incredible.
Cool.
Speaking of skateboarding, having a treat, like a lot of things happening. The U.S. Open of Freestyle is happening June 28th and 29th at Venice Beach,
Freestyle
California.
skateboarding.
Freestyle skateboarding.
No shit.
So, little boards, flat boards.
Don Brown.
Don Brown, let's go.
What's going on here, dude? You coming out of the woodwork?
Talk about people that you don't know their names, but are probably insanely talented. This is going to be fun to watch.
I did fast
Do you
forward.
know the new freestyle group
I did fast forward a lot of freestyle back in the videos.
Oh my gosh.
But I
why
do
did you that?
respect it because I know that Rodney is directly responsible for pretty much everything that's happening in the street.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of new names coming up, of course.
And when I don't want to get my wheels dirty, I just pogo around the spot.
To where you're going.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. The Copenhagen Open is happening right now. Grant Britton and Tony Hawk have a new book coming out any day now. This basically covers the last 45 years of Tony Hawk and Grant's business
Collaborations.
and friendship.
I think that it's really cool that, did you talk about the Copenhagen Open at all?
The CPH Copenhagen Open is happening right now.
But we need to talk about what's been happening over there.
I haven't seen any highlights yet.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen them yet.
There's skateboarding races. There's
They take over one of the greatest skate cities in the world.
To watch, and it's almost like a Tampa Am or Tampa Pro.
Well, it's a Tampa Pro because you have
the
best,
but it's
over, skaters.
But it's everywhere in the city.
Right. And imagine, it's like spot to spot. They change the spots up. They build new spots, and it just looks like if you were a 21-year-old skater, I don't know how I would survive now. Maybe when I wasn't drinking, it would have been easier to survive. But now it's like people look like they have gone through a war at the end of Copenhagen Pro in the best way possible. Because it's a huge moving party, and in between the skate spots, there's parties.
Yeah.
So you party, and then you go skate, and then you go to a party, and you skate. It looks... And Copenhagen is one of the coolest
cities.
It's
wild. I don't have the constitution for that, but I did see a bunch of footage of people like Gavin Botker, skating a mid-sized vert ramp.
Yeah.
That just looked like it was like a mini ramp for him, and it was so fun to see that.
It's one of those things. It's like it's like Swamp Fest, but it's not as wet. It's and there's not as much fire. It's a little more sophisticated. It's very cool. Yeah, so the Grant Britton Tony Hawk book's coming out. Brooklyn banks are coming back. The big bank. So after nearly 10 years, the big Brooklyn bank section has been refitted with bricks and what looks to be a smoother facade. We've already seen some footage of Kern Caples, Nellie Morville, Steve Rodriguez there. We don't know exactly when it's open to the public, but it's just such great news that now, in the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to skate the big Brooklyn banks. Have you ever skated the Brooklyn banks?
I've skated the Brooklyn banks.
Yes.
So when you say, are they smoothing it? Are they making it so it doesn't I don't know. It's like I was having a conversation with Dave Bashinsky the other day when we were at the Jackalope Fest about how there's all these iconic spots. I mean, Brooklyn Banks has never really been a bust, but there's like all these iconic spots that, like, for instance, in Boston, there was a whole bunch of spots that were replicated in the new skate park in Boston.
Yeah.
And they don't have what made, like,
You talked about this last week.
I did, but like I'm just saying, like, there needs to be a certain amount of shittiness. And when I hear the Brooklyn Banks are coming back and it's smoother, like, it was like the brick, that was like part of it, was like the clickety clackety of the
I'm
brick.
sure it's gonna still be clickety clackety.
Yeah, I hope there is. I don't want to see spots nerfed and made like more
Safe.
accessible.
Yeah, you don't want
I want
spots.
them to retain their shittiness.
Retain your shittiness.
It's great.
That's great. I like that. What else? We do have Monday M.A.S.S skateboards. We've sold 3 of them. Or actually, I don't know if we sold them.
They're good.
They're great. The wood is great.
They're great.
The graphics are great. Everything about them is great.
More
So
of a-
you should get them.
It's a wall hanger if you
Well,
want.
you can skate it. It's real USA maple made by gnarly wood.
You can.
You should.
You
I'm
should.
going to. I'm going to set one up, actually.
All right.
Okay, so that was skateboarding news. Now snowboarding news. Brought to you by New Greens.
Let's talk snowboard news.
Okay.
He's a great surfer for a snowboarder.
What does that mean?
Exactly. So
Exactly.
I had spoke to my man Stan Levier on the phone this morning because this time of year is kind of hard to come up with snowboard news, right? Like,
Not
it's
for me.
Apparently not for you, but you do look for like weird news. But okay, so Judd Hankus was on the. He went to the Stab High event.
Right.
He was on the Stab Highway.
Yeah.
But every time that you refer to him, it's snowboarder Judd Hankus.
Right.
Like, and Stan brought up a really good point this morning. Can you ever get out of that? And the reason that I'm even talking about this is like, okay, so we had John Cardiel back in the day. Obviously, a lot of people know him as a pro skater, but he was also a pro snowboarder. Had a model on Lamar. Cardiel kind of like changed the direction of snowboarding in a couple different ways and a couple different tricks. No one ever referred to John Cardiel as a pretty good snowboarder for a skater.
Right.
And you don't, I just
That's
don't.
a special case,
It's
though.
weird. In surfing, you kind of get that more than any of the other ones because there's a lot of skater snowboarder crossover.
It's like a handicap, if you think about it.
It's
You
more
know, like in
it's a
golfing, you get a
disclaimer.
handicap. Yeah, it's a disclaimer, like when somebody goes, "Oh, it's like I'm 52 and still skating." It's just like, just skate.
But
You have to say like,
it's kind of insulting. What I'm saying
Is
is
it insulting?
It's kind of insulting because Judd Hankus put out an incredible video part last year with some incredible surfing fundamental-wise.
okay, what is Shane Borland?
Exactly.
Is he a skater who surfs good, or a surfer who skates good?
He's just a ripper.
He's Shane Borland.
Yeah.
Who else have we got like that? Nathan Fletcher. He was nearly a pro snowboarder.
Yeah, Nate was all that, and it's just like I think you need to drop that stuff.
Yeah,
And even like Pedro Barros,
it's a good point.
they can hold their own as surfers. You don't need to say, well, he's a good surfer for a skater.
I think that the title in some cases will help the viewer go, okay, well, Pedro, is he as good as Julian Wilson? Is he as good as and so if the viewer's watching and not informed, you go, well, here is the reason why he's here. Not only does he do big airs in a wave pool, but he's also one of the greatest, bowl skaters of all time, park skaters of all time. So in some cases, I think it's nice to know, but in other cases, you're right, sort of.
I don't know. I just feel like it's this weird backhanded compliment, and
Yeah, it is. It can be construed as a backhanded compliment.
just acknowledge that this is a ripper, and they just happen to do multiple sports.
Well, you remember the famous, or it's not famous to anybody, but you or I, maybe a few other people, Ken Block said, I don't come to your Instagram to watch you skate.
No.
I come to watch you snowboard.
Right. He's like, I
You've reversed it.
Yeah, I don't go to your snowboard Instagram to watch
half-ass skating.
half-ass skating.
Yeah.
which is like the ultimate rug pullout.
Yeah, you're
But
going like, oh, I did.
I'm not, but I think Judd transcends that because he's put out incredible parts.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, I just started. I'm going to lead with that.
When I got to Oregon, got off the flight, was walking next to a guy. I'm looking over. He looked familiar. It was the homie from the Hood Report podcast, and he said, "Thanks for the great flight. To help his phone. He was listening to Monday M.A.S.S. So thanks and great to see you. We talk about other great podcasts a lot on this podcast, and I will say the Hood Report podcast is awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I said that you're going up there, so maybe you'll run into those guys, and yeah, they're super rad. So that was a really nice surprise to run into him up there. And I think one of my new favorite snowboard companies, it's a fairly strange company. They caught my attention with a Creed collab or a Creed bootleg. So Creed somehow is now cool. To me, it was ironic, very ironic, until it kind of shifted over to normalcy. But according to my kids, my girl, and a lot of younger people,
Creed's cool.
Creed is cool.
They're cool again.
Yes.
So it went from being like the
worst band in the world to now, not the best band in the world, but not even ironically cool. They're just cool. Like my son has them on his playlist with like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. They're like they're in that mix now to a lot of teenagers, 20-somethings.
What was the other band besides Creed?
Nickelback?
Nickelback.
They're not. They have not transcended into coolness yet, like Creed. Creed is now bigger than they've ever been, if you can believe that.
For real?
Maybe. They did play the Super Bowl, so they're probably as big as they've ever been. But anyway, this brand, Psuedo-Corp, has a Creed board that looks incredible. And then I went to their Instagram.
Would you ride a Creed board? You would.
Yeah, if I wasn't sponsored by Todd Richards, I would.
You'd ride a Creed.
I would ride a Creed board. But they also make these giant jarts, jean shorts. They're very hip looking. Psuedo-Corp. Oh, God. Look, we like Creed over here, dog. So, if anybody has any answers for me, who, where, what is Psuedo-Corp, I'm interested. It looks like a mix of like Jinko, some kind of like Euro streetwear brand, but they also have Creed snowboards that may or may not be real. I don't know. This is big news, Todd, in the snow and football world.
Football world?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what the NFL is?
Sure.
So, Myles Garrett, who plays for the Cleveland Browns, is one of the best defensive players in the entire league. One of the highest paid players in the entire league.
Do you get a lot of touch points?
He touches. Oh, he touches a lot. He smashes people. He's
big guy?
Oh yeah. He's a big guy, strong. So strong. And now it's just been announced. And again, we don't just say rumors.
Who's announcing this?
We are.
Okay.
Exclusive. It's not exclusive. You can look it up. And to tell you, why are we talking about Myles Garrett in snowboarding news? Because guess who Myles Garrett's girlfriend is?
Is this official?
Go say Myles Garrett dating.
Okay, let's see.
And you can tell me if it's official or not. It's a snowboarder.
No, it isn't.
What?
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
What is it's rumors.
Okay, so rumor has it that Myles Garrett and Chloe Kim are dating. Social media is a buzz.
Wow.
After these two showed up gallivanting around Japan and also announcing together at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards in Tokyo. So rumors of the relationship are heating up and fans are diving in.
Wow.
Loving it.
Wow. Power couple.
Yeah, power couple. So Chloe Kim was dating Evan Burrell.
I don't know. I don't know who that is. Is that a football
Elijah
player?
Burrell's younger brother.
Oh, okay.
For a while, but now she's dating Myles Garrett. Maybe.
Upgrade?
I don't know.
Damn.
I mean, the internet, so far, since the history...
The internet is never wrong.
No, the internet has never steered me wrong. trust me, you should look at my search history. You'll see the internet's always right. So I don't know. We talked about Stan earlier, but after a 2-month break, Stan is back with another epic episode of Last Resort. It's really good. It's really funny. Todd, the AZ Snow Zone is bringing year-round indoor skiing and snowboarding to Phoenix, where the average temperature in the summertime is 150 degrees. And I actually looked into this.
Real.
No,
Not
it's
100.
110.
150
At least.
degrees.
You've been to Phoenix in the summer?
Yeah.
The last thing on your mind is snowboarding, but also, now that they have this indoor snow park, it should be maybe the top thing on your mind. So it looks like, you know, you drop your kids off at like a indoor parkour spot or like an indoor, skate park. It kind of looks like that. It's really interesting looking because there's no snow. There's airbags, trampolines. There's a couple like jumps that you kind of like just drop into and jump and rails. It's just like these dudes made it, and then now it's a thing.
So
There's ski treadmills, skate park like setups with wood and wheels, but nothing, but like snow style.
Interesting.
It looks pretty cool.
So it's kind of like more modular, more pop-up style snowboard park?
I mean, they built it. So
Is it
it's
snow or is it
No, it's not
ski flex?
snow.
It's just a snow flex stuff.
I think so.
Okay, so it's bristle brush.
There's ski treadmills. It doesn't look like anything that I've seen. It looks like a kind of like a high performance ski snow mini park, but there's no snow.
So
and
it's not
indoors.
like big snow in
No,
New Jersey. Okay.
no. It's interesting though, and I think it's pretty cool because, I think what a great way to spend your time. Maybe go inside the air conditioning when it's 150 outside and snowboard.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Maybe those guys can reach out at some point. Maybe Psuedo-Corp is started in that park. I don't know. That's why Todd's here. I'm just asking him stuff. What else happened in snowboarding?
Let's see. High Cascade is about to start their session. They just got done with the first adult camp session at Woodward at Copper.
Right.
If you're in Colorado, Woodward Copper has a free hike park. Yes, that's right, free.
What?
At the base of Woodward at Copper. You can hike up there and ride
that's
rails.
snow?
It's like a giant pad of snow
Oh wow.
with real rails and all kinds of stuff. And this is the best time of year to drive I-70 because you don't have ski traffic.
And as I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm flying into Oregon, which is probably one of the more beautiful places you can land, the Portland airport.
Was it sunny the whole time?
It was sunny when we got there, and I was pretty shocked to see those, 4 mountains in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Mount St. Helens, Rainier,
Rainier,
and Hood.
Jefferson, Adams, and Hood.
Covered in snow still.
And then the sisters down in.
Very
and
cool.
You can kind of see that from Hood.
Oregon kind of got me.
Did it?
Yeah, got me good. Okay,
I have to fly up there I fly to Oregon to Eugene on Thursday and then drive back from Eugene with my daughter and her college things.
You're driving from Oregon to California.
Yes.
Encinitas.
Yes.
Wow, how long does that take?
It's about a 14er.
Whew.
Yeah.
Now, does she help drive?
Yeah, but I'm a control freak, so she'll
Yeah.
no.
Who DJs?
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
Audiobooks or just music?
No, I just raw dog it.
Sick. Good luck. Nerd news, other news, and questions are brought to you by Vessel Shipping. And I had questions on my phone, so you're going to have to find them again, Todd.
What are you talking about?
Let's start with some nerd news. So last week we talked about good surf podcasts, and I apologize. We failed to mention some of the best of the best. I was shook. The best surf podcast, besides my name M.A.S.S, Ain't That Swell with Jed Smith and Von Blake. A wonderful podcast. They're hilarious. Lipped is
How
good.
much surfing do they talk about?
Mostly all. And they get into it, into the details,
The minutia?
the subtleties of surfing, and they're hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, they're very smart and they're very funny. Lipped is another good pure surf podcast. Pinch My Salt with Sterling Spencer and cousin Ryan. Come on.
Oh, that is great.
That's great. That's comedy surf.
I wonder, is that still done? It's not still done out of the van.
I don't think so. It looks like they're stopped somewhere or in an office.
It's unfortunate that they're in Florida.
They've transcended the surf podcast only.
I would like to collaborate with Sterling and his cousin
That's like a
in
good
podcasts.
comedy podcast for surfers.
It's great. It's unbelievable, actually.
It's hilarious. And that being said, the Monday Mass will be collaborating with Dave Proden for a special episode of Monday Mass Meets the Lineup. And this was from earlier. We talked about this. I love the Subaru State, Oregon.
Who's calling it the Subaru
I just
State?
made that up because there's so many Subarus, but so many fun things to do. Hood River's amazing. I threw paper planes off of the column in Astoria. Thrift stores, magic shops, good stuff.
Magic shops.
I went to a magic shop and it was great.
What'd you
The
get?
magician behind the counter was spectacular. I got a Twin Peaks T-shirt that was printed in the shop. So that was my trip. In nerd news
Twin
here,
Peaks is Washington, you know.
I know, but it's close. I was gonna drive up to the Twin Peaks stuff, but it's too far. So The Last of Us is over. Finally watched it. What the hell, Todd?
What is it?
This kind of is reminiscent of the last episode of The Sopranos.
Look,
A gunshot, and then it's black. We didn't get a gunshot in The Sopranos, but in Last of Us, we got the gunshot, and then it faded to black.
well,
What is going on?
Let's talk about Last of Us for a second. So apparently, Last of Us has lost 50% of their viewage this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
After the first couple, because I think, they are kind of following the pacing of the game, and I think that it maybe that pacing, people really like Pedro Pascal as
Oh, yeah.
So
When he got shot.
when Joel dies,
Spoiler alert.
yeah,
If you haven't watched it.
spoiler alert. And then there's just like there's just stuff in that flows better from a gaming standpoint
Yeah.
than it does translates to what you're seeing. Like, and some of the, like I've said this before. Well, I don't know if I've said this before. Well, it's fucking spoiler alert. Like, you are forced to look at this from Abby's point of view a lot in the game.
Yeah.
More than you. I mean, it's like when they flip the perspectives on you, you don't want to look at this from Abby's point of view.
Right.
But they're forcing you to, and it's kind of like, I've never had an experience before where I'm like, I don't want to fucking play this anymore. Like, this is lame. You guys just fucked with everything.
Yeah.
So where we left off with the gunshot in the game, you immediately switch over to Abby again.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, your cliffhanger is exactly the way it cliffhangs in the game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Exactly the way it cliffhangs.
I don't know.
in the
It's a
game.
really, I think it's a polarizing show anyways, and the second game was incredibly polarizing with the fans. So it just makes sense, but I feel like, it's going to be 2 more seasons of this
Yeah.
to get the whole thing out. So
I get it.
I started watching Handmaid's Tale again,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know, do you watch Handmaid's Tale at all?
No.
It's,
I'm surprised you like that show. To be honest.
that actress bugs me to no end.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think a lot of reason people were tuning out of Last of Us is because of the music video interludes. The guitar playing. It's like when somebody shows up at a party with a guitar.
That's
and
probably-
you're like, no.
That's probably not the reason.
Yeah.
But I will say that Handmaid's Tale is the kind of show where, like, the anxiety that it causes you while you're watching it is almost not worth it.
Yeah.
And how, like, I don't understand these shows, like, they become formulaic where, like, everything is cool, everything is great. They're back in the situation again where everything is fucked, everything is cool, everything is great.
Yep.
We're gonna go back and be fucked over again. Like, that's kind of how the pacing of Handmaid's Tale is. It's very uncomfortable.
Right.
Show.
Okay. Well, I'm wrapping up the actual first episode of, or season 2 of Twin Peaks. Been wrapping that up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm not smart
That's
enough. or
exactly the
something.
way David Lynch planned it.
But I'll keep watching it. I watched some crap. I watched Havoc, this new movie on Netflix. It's stupid.
Did you watch Murderbot?
Not yet. I will
Yeah.
watch Murderbot.
All right, we have any questions?
We got questions.
Yeah.
DJ says, "Hey, Chris and Todd, stoked for any summer movie releases? 28 years later, F1, Fantastic Four."
I'm stoked for 28 years later.
So 28 years later is 28 years later from the original 28 days later, which
28
was,
years later is when this fucking episode
Yeah.
ends.
So it's zombie. They're not zombies. They're infected, but they're not like infected.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Can you get the questions from your computer for the Monday Mass? I'm sure you got some.
Maybe.
No.
Hold on. I'll have to switch accounts, and then I have to turn this off.
Switch accounts. What needs to be done. So yeah, what else we got?
I don't know if I can do that on this
I had some
computer.
questions. Oscar Ananda wants to play Fortnite with me. I will.
I will.
Brandon Banner was the one that sent the freestyle skateboarding update. What do you got?
I'm looking.
Oh, Todd's looking for some questions.
Here's one. Here's one we have. Why can't, this is by Mike M. Mike M says, why can't we have flexible snowboard boots and bindings again?
Ooh, why
Because
not?
I put a picture up on my Instagram this morning of an older photo of Jason Ford doing like, it's called a crooked carp. It's basically a stalefish where you drop your knee to your board. Kind of like a...
Crooked carp.
You know what a crooked carp is? It's like a backside air, but you drop... It's like a mosquito crooked carp, like you... Like a Japan air, but you're grabbing backside.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so this is the stalefish version where you drop your back knee onto the deck, the crooked carp.
Yes.
Why can't we do that? Like, why won't anyone give us the option to do that anymore in snowboarding? And I think it's a really interesting point, and I think about that too, is we've kind of made it so that all the boots and binding interfaces are so flexible. For a long time, in snowboarding, we had it so that there was the ultimate mobility of your ankles and being able to tweak and do these things. And we somehow moved away from that to having the most rigid and restrictive board, boot, binding combination ever. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's a shame that we don't have more of an opportunity to fine tune and be able to tweak out like we used to. I mean, we used to shave the sides of our bindings down so that we could roll our boot in the binding over a little bit more. So I mean, everything that's old is getting a refresh these days. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone came out with a really tweakable boot binding interface that still gives you that secure feeling. I mean, yeah, I miss it. I want it to be back.
Tweakable boot binding. Well, if you sent in a question, we will get to it next week somehow. We like you a lot, and we hope you've enjoyed the show. We hope you learned a little something. Now you know all about action sports, at least for this last week. Tune in next week when we are back together, and it's a special episode, potentially with Dave Prodan of the lineup. It's going to be great, and we'll see you then.
Okay, we'll
That's
see you
it.
guys there. That was rad. Thanks for the show.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What's that? That is how we do it. What was that comment?
What?
Tony Hawk thinks you guys are bums or something.
What
What is that?
I don't know.